Costello, and I'm a romantic comedy author. I've written 8 and a bit books, and my next one is out in April. It's called The Love Shack. And I've noticed in the kind of 8 or 9 years that I've been writing that we authors tend to get asked a handful of really pressing questions by people. And I thought it would be a good idea to do a series of videos that answer these questions that are obviously burning for readers out there and would-be writers. So here goes.
So Jane, what's the best thing about being an author?
The best thing about being an author, right? There are so many absolutely brilliant things about being an author. I can't even kind of begin to list them. But I think there's 2 things I'd pick out. The first is seeing your book that you've spent a year of your life sweating and having tears and all the rest of it over. When you actually see it finished and completed, and with the lovely cover and all the quotes inside. There are a few moments when you actually see that on the shelves that can compare with that. So there's that. But also I think just doing a job that involves going into your own little world. I kind of work with my headphones on, and I can just kind of drift away into this completely a world that's far more exciting than the one I live in, and just spend time daydreaming for a living. It's a brilliant job, and I really can't imagine doing anything else.
And Jane, where do you get your ideas from?
Some of my ideas I get from real life. And some of them are simply a question of my overactive imagination. I can think of several books in which I've taken quite a bit from real life. I went through a period of my life when I did some online dating, and that was just this wealth of sadly comedy material from some of the people I ended up dating. But real life is just full of funny things, and when you're writing comedy, it's all out there. You just have to kind of tweak it up by 10% or so and have a lot of fun with it.
And if you could have written any book in the world at all, what would you have written?
I think if I could have written any book apart from the ones that I have written, it would have to be Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. It's a classic, obviously. But it's the ultimate page turner for me. There's so much action in it. There's twists and turns at every stage. The characters are all amazing. They've got these dark secrets, and from the very first page, it completely grips you, and it just takes you by the throat as a reader and keeps you there until the final dramatic pages. And it's just incomparable to me. I love it.
So can you describe a typical writing day? What do you do? Do you write from 9 till 5?
A typical writing, I'm often asked by readers whether I just wait for inspiration to take hold before I start writing. And I've got 3 children, and very busy life, and you just can't do that. You have to treat this, it's my job. These days I will tend to put aside the morning, and the morning is when I do all my writing. I'll either write in a coffee shop or in my study at home, and I try to avoid all the emails and the washing that needs doing and any other distractions like that, and just kind of focus on the world of my books, and then spend the afternoon doing all the other bits and bobs that if you're self-employed, you do the accounts, and you do all your emails and that kind of thing. But my brain is working at its best in the morning, so that's when I'll write.
And if you ever get a day off, what do you do with a non-writing day?
Non-writing days tend to be dominated by doing things with my kids. I love going up to the Lake District. I live in Liverpool, but I go up to the Lake District a lot, so we spend loads of time in there. I love the great outdoors. I love running as well. Absolutely love running. So if I'm ever finding kind of having some days when, as a writer, even if you've been doing it for a long time, inspiration just doesn't come easily. And I always find the best way to clear my head is running. I'm not very fast. I'm not at all fast. I'm puffing and panting and like nobody's business by the time I get home. But it is a great way to relax, and I love doing it.
And what would be your message for anybody that wants to be the next Jane Costello, that's an aspiring author and wants your job?
Aspiring authors, I think, ultimately you've got to have a great amount of self-belief, because there will be a lot of reading a book is such a kind of personal thing, so not everybody will like what you do. So you do have to have self-belief, you do have to stick at it. It's a marathon and not a sprint. I could so easily have given up on chapter 3 so many times I can't even tell you, because some days it's very, very hard. So sticking at it as well. But also listen to advice. Like I say, self-belief is great, but if you're getting lots of people telling you that something doesn't work, it probably doesn't work. It's probably not the fact that actually you're just the next undiscovered J.K. Rowling. So I think there's a lot of advice to be had out there, and you have to kind of drink it all in.